I have someone to introduce you to today. It's very exciting. Hello. Hi. So I would like to introduce you to somebody. This is Puzzle. This is her friend Mello. Puzzle is a lovely little mare. I think she's about 6 years old, 6, 7, that kind of age. And she belongs to one of the other ladies that is on livery here. And basically Puzzle needed something to do, and I needed a horse to ride. So we've kind of come together, and Puzzle is hopefully going to be a little bit of a mascot for NL Equestrian. Really looking forward to having a horse that I can ride. If you don't know Ginger's story, I might do a vlog on Ginger's story another day, but he was retired from ridden work about 5 or 6 years ago now. So I don't have a rideable horse, unfortunately, and I ride students' horses, but it would be really nice to have a horse that I could demonstrate ridden things on, but also just to kind of enjoy riding again, because I do really miss it. So Puzzle needed somebody who'd be able to do that. So me and her owner had a little chat, and we decided that we could help each other out a little bit. So welcome to the gang, Puzzle. You're going to be seeing lots of her. I'm going to try and document everything I do with her. So she'll be on the vlogs lots, she'll be on my social media lots, she'll be at my events, on the fun days, all that kind of thing. So this is my first week with her, and this week I'm literally just doing some bonding stuff. We don't really know each other very well. The only sort of contact I've had with her was when I looked after her for a week when her owner went away. But yeah, she doesn't know me very well, I don't know her very well, so we're just going to bond a little bit this week. I'm just coming into the field every day with her and having a little cuddle, bringing her something tasty so that she gets to really enjoy having me around. I don't just want to drag her out the field and start doing things with her, because that's not a very good way to get her to like me. She's never done any natural horsemanship before, so it'll be a nice little challenge for her and for me as well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Are you looking forward to it, Puzzle? I'm not sure. I'm quite enjoying just living my days grazing, to be honest. So far what I have kind of learned about Puzzle is that she seems to have quite a good natural connection. She's the first one to look up when we come into the field, and anyone goes into the field, she's the first one to look up and look at you. And she's also the first one to run over, whether you're coming to get her or not. She will run straight over to you, and I love that in a horse. That's a really special trait. So that's really nice. I think she's gonna be very naturally connected. She seems to be very curious as well. She seems like quite a confident horse, but I won't really know more until I have my first play with her, which will be next week. So I will get that on film for you, and see how we get on. So I'm off to a lesson now. I'm going to see Debbie and Cracker. I've just brought Ginger in for a couple of hours. He's had his first night out last night, and I've just brought him in to be off the grass for a couple of hours, and then I'll come back and pop him back out. But before that, yeah, I'm going to teach Debbie and Cracker, and then I'm going to go and work with Sabby. I've just finished a lesson. Well, I finished a lesson an hour and a half ago. It's taken me that long to get home because traffic was so bad. Oh, what a nightmare. But anyway, it's fine. I'm at the yard now. I'm going to bring Ginger in tonight. He's had 2 nights out, which has been very lovely, considering how long he was in for, bless him, with his mud fever. So yes, I'm going to bring him in tonight, which he probably won't be very happy about. But if you have a look at how much grass we've got, I don't really want him living on it 24/7 at the moment. Also, it's going to rain tonight, so his legs will get a bit wet, which I'm trying to avoid still, to avoid a relapse. So I'm just going to go and give Puzzle a cuddle in the field and a treat. That's going well. This will be the 3rd day we've done that now, and she's starting to really look forward to seeing me, so that's really good. And then I'm going to bring Ginger in for the night. Hi, pretty lady. She knows what I'm about now. Good girl. Hi, Polo. He says, don't I get a treat? I really can't wait to start playing with this horse. I'm having to be patient because we're doing it all the right way and making her really want to be around me, which is definitely working, so that's good. The thing is, they all want to be around me now, which is lovely. But yeah, I'm really pleased that she's really looking forward to my visits, and I can't wait to start with her next week. Obviously, I also can't wait to play with Apollo and Ginger and everybody. No one wants to feel left out. Oh, Gigi, have you had a nice couple of nights out? Have you enjoyed being a horse again? Apollo's trying to eat the phone. We're going to go to bed and find some dinner. I don't think he's even going to eat his dinner. He's probably so full. Aren't you? Mwah. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. So I think there's been some funny goings on in this field. So Ginger and Apollo have been together all week, ever since we moved into the new fields. And they get on really well, which is fantastic. But I think Ginger's in charge, which has never happened before, ever. But he just bit Apollo, and Apollo went running. So I'm not sure what to do with this information, because Ginger has never been the boss of anyone or anything, have you? I don't really know if he's qualified for this position, but it looks like he's going to have a go. Are you okay with it, Ginge? He says, I guess so. Are you okay with it, Apollo? He says, not really. Oh dear. Hi guys, and welcome to the first episode of Horsemanship Highlights. I finally came up with a name. It took me a lot longer than I'm proud of, but then it just suddenly came to me, and I thought that would be ideal because it's going to be either a highlight from my week, or a highlight of something I've learned, or a highlight that I can give you for something for you to learn or someone to see or whatever. So today I'm going to be talking to you about imposter syndrome, and I've only really known about this for maybe a year, and I was having a conversation with my friend Jackie. And we just got talking about it, and it was something that I'd never heard of before. I didn't really know existed. Well, I knew it existed in my head anyway, but I didn't know it was something that other people went through. So what is imposter syndrome? Have you ever doubted your own accomplishments? Have you ever achieved something and thought it was purely down to luck, or it was timing? You know, you were in the right place at the right time. It got you on a good day. And a huge part of imposter syndrome, and probably one of the worst parts of it, is that it's really common in the business world. And they actually did a study on it in the 1980s, and they found out that half of all successful people felt that they were frauds. Which, when you read that and you hear that, it's just crazy. And that was in the 1980s, so it could be even more now. I imagine it probably is even more now, especially with you know, the growth of social media and that whole, what I was talking about in a previous vlog about, you know, how you look at how perfect people's lives are and then you start to judge your own. So I would imagine it's even more so now. And actually, famously, Albert Einstein really suffered from imposter syndrome. He felt like he was completely in the situation that he was in purely by luck, and that he was just chancing it, and actually one day everyone was going to find out what a big fraud he was. Albert Einstein. So if he can feel like that, then the rest of us mere mortals certainly can. For me, certainly, when I started teaching, that was a huge part of it for me, because I'd been a part of a big natural horsemanship organisation for a long time, and I was going to become an instructor with them. And when I decided to sort of move away from that and go it on my own, I really suddenly felt like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. How can I do it without these people telling me what to do all the time, and having that sort of backup? And I can't possibly know as much as they know, and how on earth can I go out and teach people and tell people what to do when I don't know half the stuff that these people know? And of course, okay, maybe I didn't know all the things that they know, and I completely believe that, because there's always so much more to learn, and they've been doing it a lot longer than I have. But what I do is now very different, and it's my situation, it's my journey, and it's very different to them. And if I go around comparing myself to them, who have been doing it for much longer, who are in a much different position to what I'm in, then of course I'm going to think that I'm failing. The same with anything. If you're learning to cook and you compare yourself to, I don't know, Mary Berry, of course, you know, you make a cake and then you compare how your cake looks and tastes to the way that Mary Berry's cake looks and tastes, you're going to feel like a failure because it's not going to be the same, but you're completely on a different scale. When Mary Berry started cooking, I can almost guarantee she had that same feeling about whoever it was that she was following. But I really felt that I was way out of my depth, and, you know, there was no way I'd be able to sustain doing this because I just didn't know enough. After having this conversation with Jackie, it really helped, because then I could take a step back and think, actually, okay, the lessons are going really well, the horses are happy, the humans are happy, everyone seems to be enjoying it, I'm getting really good reviews, you know, people are booking me to come back for another lesson, they're willingly paying me, I'm not having to hold them down and force money out of their hands, so I must be doing something right. And that's what I really had to remember, and I had to think, okay, there's so many people who offer this now, so many natural horsemanship instructors and trainers around. It's really become a lot more popular recently, but they're choosing me, so I had to really sort of step back and go, okay, there's a reason why they're choosing me, and it's because I am good enough. It is because I do know what I'm talking about, and yes, I'm on a very different level to what other people are doing, but that's fine, that's good. If we were all doing exactly the same thing, then there would be no variety in the world, and people who did want to look for something a bit different wouldn't have that opportunity. And in a way, imposter syndrome is a positive, because it keeps you grounded, it stops you from being cocky, and if you treat it as that, then it's great. Then you're able to move on, you're able to look at it and go, okay, this is the situation I'm in, but I'm going to be able to move past it now. Unfortunately, what happens is a lot of people get these feelings, they feel like, you know, that they're deceiving people, that one day they're going to be found out for what, I'm not sure, but that's what they feel, and they allow it to hold them back, or even worse than that, they allow it to knock them back, and they think that they shouldn't be at this position, they shouldn't be trusted in this situation, so they're going to retreat way back into their comfort zone and sometimes never come back out of it, and that is really sad. So the reason why I think this will be beneficial to horse owners and horse riders is because so many people, one of the biggest things that I hear all the time is, I'm not good enough for my horse, or my horse deserves a better rider, or a higher level rider, a higher skilled rider. No, he doesn't. And he doesn't care. As long as you're being nice to your horse, you're being kind to him, and he's getting all the things he needs, your horse is fine. He'd be happy if you just turned him out and let him graze for the rest of his life. You know, he's not sitting there in the field or, you know, finishing a ride with you thinking, oh God, I wish Charlotte Dujardin or Car Hester was riding me today. He'd never have that thought. That wouldn't even enter his head. That's not how horses think at all. So why do we think it? Why do we apologise to our horse that we're not that person? As long as you're always striving to improve and putting work into improving, then there's nothing more you can do. And yeah, okay, maybe a Grand Prix dressage rider would be able to get your horse to do a piaffe. Does your horse care? Is that something your horse is going to end the day going, oh yeah, did it, I got the piaffe today? He really isn't going to think that way. He's really not going to care. So as long as you're moving forward and you're progressing yourself to become a better rider and a better horse person, then you're winning. Then you are the perfect rider for your horse. Your horse doesn't deserve better, because there isn't better. When you really think about it, there's just different levels of it. And these Grand Prix dressage riders, I can almost guarantee that the first time that they got on a horse, in fact, I can definitely guarantee the first time they sat on a horse, they couldn't get it to do a piaffe. Even if they'd have tried, they wouldn't have been able to do it because they wouldn't have known how. But they've put the work in and they've got there. And you can bet that Carl Hester, Charlotte Dujardin, whoever you want to look at, will have watched higher level riders than them throughout their journey and thought, oh, I'm not as good as that. My horse deserves better. Everyone goes through it. Every rider goes through it. It is completely normal. But again, it's how you deal with it. I'm not saying don't look at these riders, don't look up to them. Just don't compare yourself to them, because you're a totally different person to them, with different goals, with different achievements, with different facilities, different resources, a different horse, all that kind of stuff. But it's absolutely fine to look up to them and use them as inspiration and think, oh, I really want to get there. But then think about how you get there, not, oh, I'm never going to get there, or I'm pretending that I'm going to get there, but I'm never actually going to make it. Because all you're really battling against is this voice in here, is that imposter syndrome that really easily just becomes hooked into your brain. And if you ever feel like it's just you that's going through this, 70% of all human beings go through imposter syndrome at some point in their life. 70%. So it is completely normal. So that's the end of this week's horsemanship highlights. I'd love to hear your thoughts, love to hear if you enjoyed it, if you learnt something from it, and any other topics for me to talk about in the future. So thank you so much for watching this week's vlog, and I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next time.